Hey guys, how's everybody doing tonight? Let us know where you're from, and we're gonna get to you here in a second. I'm pulling up the live feed. We got an awesome guest tonight, like always. Let's see, leave that, and we got Johnny Hauser here, dude. I love Johnny Hauser. Johnny's been on the show before when we were on K-Core Radio. It's been what, 7, 8, 9 months ago now. Johnny's on the show with us tonight.
It was probably almost a year to the day, actually.
You know what? You're right. It was because it was like February or March. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember because we had Johnny on, and then like about a month or so afterwards, we had Nick on, and Nick was on in April.
Yeah, Nick and Elizabeth were on, right? Yeah, because Johnny kind of started the whole vidi.space thing with us because we had a bunch of people from vidi.space on and a good stretch there, and Johnny was one of the first ones. What's going on, brother?
Living the dream here in Villisca, and I'm at the Axe Murder House barn. This is my go-to when I need to be quiet and
Awesome.
I don't need kids running around. So.
Right, gotcha. So yeah,
I mean, the best place is to get some quiet time is where someone's been hacked to death.
yeah.
So if there's anything weird happening, this could be like an investigation show at the same time. Who knows what could happen?
We like those, man. We've had some pretty cool stuff. Let me give some shout outs to some people here. We got Jesse from San Antonio, Texas, Sandy from North Carolina, Susan, Colorado, Canada's on here, Tara. Let's see, Glasgow, Scotland, Paulina, James from Ohio, Annie Weeble's on. Hey, Annie. Let's see, Ellie from Ontario, Canada, Georgia, Chattanooga, Helen King's on from the UK. That's Alex's wife. Hi from that's Ashley from Tasmania, Australia. Let's see, Fred says Johnny Hauser's awesome. Let's see, Tuscan, Arizona.
How much did that cost you?
Yeah.
$20.
Damn, $20. I'm in the wrong business,
That's
bro.
cheap.
We got Australia on here again. Sam from Australia. We got Hi from New Jersey. That is Kathy. Amy from New York. California, Cassie. Annie Weeble says, I've stopped watching the Super Bowl for you. That's awesome.
That's okay, because I'm going to give the British update on the Super Bowl.
Wilmington, Illinois is on here. Fred, greetings from the Netherlands. That's Nicoletta, I believe. Hi from Houston, Texas, Wisconsin. Sally and Merck. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? We love you guys. You guys are awesome. Richmond, Michigan, USA is on here. Denise Smith is watching. New Zealand's on here. Jolly from New Zealand. I take that's Jolly. Minnesota's on here. Mindy. Okay, let's get to the show. There's too many damn people on here, as usual. Awesome, man.
Yeah,
we love you guys.
Stop watching the show.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Keep watching. Yeah. Hey, guys, awesome. We love your support, and we got a great guest. And this is, as a matter of fact, we always have great guests. But I tell you what, February is starting an awesome 4 or 5 months of straight badass guests, man. Starting with Johnny, and we're going through it, man. I tell you, we got some cool shit coming up. You want to stay tuned. We got an awesome show starting next Tuesday on Paranormal Warehouse. That's Annie Weeble. Actually, Annie's going to be my co-host next week on American Ghost Hunter when we interview Girls versus Ghosts. Those guys from over there. So she's going to be kind of sitting in for Alex here. We got hey Colorado, how you doing? So yeah, New York. Hey, how you doing, guys? Arizona, Houston. What's going on, guys? Great to see you. If you guys have any questions for Johnny, please put them in the chat here, and we'll answer them as fast as humanly possible. There's a lot of you on here as always. But hey, Johnny. So we were talking before we came on the air, and you're doing some true life crime stuff, man. What's that about?
Well, season 1, Johnny Hauser verse went really well. Season 2 was even better. And when I progressed from the Axe Murder House, like there was no doubt in my mind that I have to go to Malvern because it like seemed to tie in together. When I finished up with Malvern, it was just kind of like I have no idea where to go.
Right.
And I had a lot of places I could go, but I wanted it to mean something. I wanted the stories to all fit together and the locations to fit together. And so I was kind of going through the memory banks of when I was a kid. And I remember my brother's best friend ended up going to prison for life for stabbing a lady or something.
Damn.
In my head, I was like, I wonder whatever happened to him.
Right.
So I kind of started digging into the case a little bit, and I'm kind of like, I don't really think this dude did this. You know, I don't know. You know, just kind of reading through, there's just a lot of stuff that didn't add up. And I'm a big true crime buff, like constantly. It's forensic files, FBI files, like First 48. You know, I'm just so addicted to that kind of stuff. And I thought, why not do a true crime thing? Let's dig into this dude's case and see what happens. So kind of going Johnny Hauser verse will be back, but I'm kind of putting it on hold to do this true crime stuff. And I also have another documentary in the works that's kind of delves into some Twilight Zone weird things again. So I'm not going totally straight away from the paranormal, you know?
Right.
But you know, like we were talking, us as investigators, you know, investigating strange phenomenon, we just love investigating, period.
Yeah.
You know, so this true crime thing just, I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. It's always nice to kind of like veer away from it a little bit and just take a break a little bit from the spirits and the paranormal part of it and kind of like, you know,
that's why we do this show.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the urban explorations and stuff like that. Just going to some of the historical places and just checking them out, man, is just awesome. And the true crime stuff, man, is crazy. Like, yeah, some of these shows.
There was this awesome true crime show on in the UK the other day about shoplifters. That was immense.
About shoplifters?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because we're so dangerous in the UK. We have to have a documentary about people that shoplift.
Yeah, over here we have serial killers who shoplift.
All it did was give you tips. I don't know why they did it.
Tips on how to shoplift?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
It gave me some great ideas.
I want to say a couple shout outs here. Yeah, there's a bunch of people in here. Birmingham, Haisha, I guess that's her name. Joe Anderson really loves the show. He loves Johnny. Malvern Manor is awesome. Sandy says, hi from PA, Minnesota, Connecticut. Melissa, Jean, and Cheryl. Let's see. Birmingham, Coletta, Battle of the Beards. Okay. Hi, Sandy. How you guys doing? Yeah, true crime, man. That's awesome, dude. I'm loving this. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with that. Now, is this something you're doing with Vidi, or is this something you're kind of doing yourself?
It'll be a vidi.space thing.
Okay.
It'll go straight to vidi.space, but then we're going to probably push it, you know, to some other, you know, maybe do some film festival stuff with it and just see what happens. But I'm also using, you know, it's like putting together a crew for this whole thing. And it's like, okay, Josh Hurd from Malvern. I mean, Malvern Manor's kind of home base in the entire documentary. We kind of meet up at the Malvern Manor to talk about this case. And
cool.
Seth Alney, Chris Case, you know, my son. And
nice.
Pretty much everybody you kind of seen throughout. There was the season finale of Malvern. I had a lot of these guys in on it and stuff. So it's just kind of my crew of people that I like to stay close with here in Iowa. And we decided to, and they're all filmmakers as well. So why not put all of our resources together and make some really epic films together?
Well, let me ask you, since you're doing a true crime, are you going to kind of delve into the axe murder case at Villisca? About any of that stuff?
You know, I've thought about it so many times, and so many people have said, if anybody's going to do something on the Axe Murder House, it should be you, you know? And I'm like, I don't know. Someday I'll probably do something. I don't know.
Right.
I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the house. Like, I love it. And it's given me so many opportunities, and I mean, it's my home away from home, oddly enough. But then on the second thing, it's just kind of like, Kurt Cobain, you know, with hey, place smells like Teen Spirit again. And
right.
he's like, Other songs.
Yeah, right. I got you. Yeah.
So while you're there, do you come as you are?
I was going to try and think of another Nirvana song title to answer, but
have you ever had have you ever had an aneurysm?
He's on top of it.
That's a witty
only
UK.
at Lloyd's barber shop. When it was in bloom. Yeah.
I'm having some Pennyroyal tea.
All right. Hey, Charleston, South Carolina. Hi, Mexico. Hey, that's Krista from Mexico. Mary from Charleston, South Carolina. We got Lynn from UK saying hi to Johnny. Hey, everybody saying hi to us and hi to Johnny. Somebody says they were at Malvern last night. Hey from Missouri. That's Kimberly. Deb Emily from Northern Ireland. Hey, let's see. Edmund, Jean and Edmund. Yo, what's up, Gina? Kelly Psychic was there last night. Okay. Amy, I don't know what that last name is. Bingenheimer? She says, my friend Kelly the Psychic was just there last night. Okay, that's awesome. Tell us if she found anything. Let's see. Sandy Griffin, I watched it. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Hi from New Orleans. It sucks you guys aren't in the Super Bowl.
It was probably some of these comments might be relating to previous comments, but we can't keep up. So
she says she did great there. She did a great job. Let's see. Hello from Haunted, Ohio. Yes, North Carolina, Trenton, Ohio. And somebody says deaf. Okay. All right. So Johnny, what just happened, man? My camera just flipped around and everything. Yeah. So I totally forgot what I was going to say. Hey guys, how you doing? So doing true crime. What else is going on? So you said putting season 3 or 4 on hold right now for the Johnny Hauser versus. Do we know what you're going to be doing in the next season of Johnny Hauser versus?
I've talked with Nick and Elizabeth about it a little bit, but I've just kind of been putting everything into this true crime, and I kind of had to step back. It's like, okay, I got to focus on Johnny Hauser first. Like, we got to get a plan for where I'm going to go next. I don't know if I'm going to be in one location for an entire season.
Okay.
That was kind of fun, to really delve into one place, but it's so hard to secure a place for like 2 months.
Right.
These places are booking out and stuff like that. And there's a lot of, I would like to hit Clear Lake, Iowa, where the surf ballroom where Buddy Holly and Big Bopper and all them played their last show.
Oh, okay.
And I'd like to bring one of the Jennings clan there with me, because Waylon Jennings was Buddy Holly's guitar player. And of course, he's the one that rode the bus and
I never knew that.
Right on the plane.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he was his lead guitar player, and he was supposed to have the Big Bopper seat, but the Big Bopper was sick, so Waylon said, you can take my spot. And then Buddy Holly said, well, I hope your bus freezes, and Waylon said, I hope your plane crashes.
Ooh.
And that took years and years and years for him to even talk about that, because he felt so guilty, like he willed it to happen or something. But
right.
It would be hard to move on from that for sure.
Yeah.
But I'd like to hit that place. I think that'd be pretty cool, but man, they're not going to let me have run of that place for an entire season.
Right. Hey, you never know, man.
There's a lot of little one-off places I want to hit. Maybe I'll do. I'm not sure. I just kind of let things happen, and that's why I didn't want to force another location. I didn't want to just pick a place to investigate for the fun of it.
Right.
I've done that for years and years and years. Like, I wanted it to mean something and have a deeper meaning, and all these places to somehow tie in together for one big story. And I think whenever opportunity comes up, it'll just present itself. It'll just be like, there it is.
That's cool.
That's where I'm going.
That's a cool way to look at life, man. Just take it as it comes, man. I appreciate that, because a lot of us are so set in our ways and having to have what we want, but sometimes you get what you need, you know. And that's it's a cool way of looking at it, dude. I like that, man.
I'm just here for the ride.
Right. It's,
wherever it takes me. A
lot of it's God's will or whatever will, and it's just wherever it takes you, brother. That's cool, man. Exactly. I like that.
Exactly.
So, Johnny, let's go back to the start. Not how you got into the paranormal, because I'm sure everyone's fed up of
that's gay
being asked that question. How did everything start with vidi.space? How did that come around?
I talked with Nick quite a bit, and he kind of had he'd throw out little things like, I want to do like my own network, or I want to do like some live investigations online, and just little conversations. And then a few years ago, he had called me up and said he and Elizabeth were starting vidi.space, and they're going to do it. Like, let's just do it. And I think part of that was so many times these TV people, like, they would come to them with a show that was an awesome show, and it would just get turned down,
right?
Just because, and they just got tired of that. Like, I did. First time I met Elizabeth, I was shooting a pilot in Ohio for a show to go to network, and Nick was doing it, and awesome show, and it just never happened. And I think they're just like, you know what?
That's crazy.
We're just going to do this.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So they're basically they're shelving the shows. You guys go out and you film this awesome pilot or whatever, and you're probably getting great evidence, great places, and they just shelve it. It's just insane, man.
That sort of stuff happens more often than we realize.
Yeah, you don't hear it a lot. Yeah, but you only hear the good shit. You don't hear a lot of the bad. But that's crazy. Kimberly Farrell says she wants Johnny to come investigate her haunted house for a full season. It might be a good idea, man.
Message me.
Yeah. Where are you located, Kimberly? That's another thing. Let's see. Got a lot of people in here from Illinois, California saying hi. Let's see. Blair, Nebraska. How you doing?
We've got Colette from Liverpool.
Yep.
She's a regular watcher. We've got Katrina coming on our show, in fact.
That's right. In April.
Yes, our first show in April.
Yeah.
Coming on the show.
Yeah, can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Katrina's awesome. Anything, it seems like that whole Vidi thing and the paranormal lockdown, everybody from that whole genre is just awesome. They're awesome people. They're great people. Everyone's been on our show has been so generous and cool and very likable. That's one thing I can say. Nick and Elizabeth know how to pick people, man. I tell you, especially for Vidi.
Yeah. And it was. I made the decision. Like, I've gone through so many pilots and all these producers that are your best friends until they don't need you anymore.
Right.
And then and I just hate fake people. I hate that fake mentality, And I would tell them, look, dude, if it doesn't go, give me a heads up. Like, just send me a text, like, no go. I don't care. I'm not going to start crying. I'm a grown man, for crying out loud.
Right.
With a beard and everything.
Yeah, exactly. But, Nick and Elizabeth, I mean, they have shot me straight from day one, and I made the decision long ago. Like, I'm sticking under Groff's umbrella.
That's a good umbrella to be under, bro.
Yeah,
it's a good one to be under.
They're all great people when they surround themselves with positive people, and I love it.
I got a little story. I mean, and Alex was here for the whole thing. I really, when I Dick, looking around. Where's your mug, dude? I hate Daryl, whatever the fuck it says. A little story about Nick and Elizabeth. I give them such good kudos because when they came on our show, they were actually filming a documentary in L.A. And they took an hour out of their damn time of filming this documentary to come on our show. And they didn't have to do that, man. And that just shows what kind of people they are, man. And I appreciate that to this day, because that was a highlight for everybody who was watching on the K-Core show. And
yeah. So many people phoned in. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was. We barely had time to even talk to them. There were so many people phoning in wanting to talk to them. It was basically us answering the questions. They were, But it was so cool of them to do that, and they didn't have to do that, man. And that really showed something to me.
And one of my great memories of Nick, we were eating at Perkins, I believe. It's probably about 4 a.m. after a Nick Groff tour. Super tired, super worn out. It took forever for our food to come, and a lady goes, "Are you Nick Groff? Can I get a picture with you?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." He sat and talked to that lady for like an hour. Like
Really?
The food came, his food's getting cold, but he just sat there and talked to her. I mean, he loves the fans. He loves the people. He's genuine. When they filmed Ghost Adventures at the Axe House, it was about a year afterwards, I got a hold of him. And it's like, "Hey, I'm doing this documentary, would you do like a little cameo in it and stuff, like a phone interview or something?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, too bad we couldn't like hook up and like just do it in person." I'm like,
Okay.
"Whoa."
Okay.
Okay. And he probably doesn't even remember that, but
Right.
like to me that was like, wow. Like, and it never happened, just because they were at a certain location for only a couple days, and to buy a plane ticket that soon is astronomical. So,
Right. Yeah.
But it was just a cool thing that he
Cool gesture. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's always been that way. He's never changed at all.
That's cool, man. It's good to hear, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, when our interaction with them in the past, it was just amazing. And I always say great things about both those guys, because they were, Elizabeth was so like funny and loving, and Nick was just such a cool guy to talk to, man. He had a wealth of knowledge and all the places he's been. But it was cool, man. And I really, like I said, those guys, what they're doing with Vidi is just awesome, man. As a matter of fact, the guy who runs Paranormal Warehouse, Mike Diamond, is on Vidi, Real or Fake, their show. So it's a good, the whole thing is just well rounded, man.
A Super Bowl update, just quickly. Brandy, is that his name? Got sacked.
Got sacked?
I don't know what that means, but it sounds painful.
Brady, not Brandy.
Yeah, I can just imagine Brandy with some guy's crutch in his face getting sacked.
That may have been it.
So don't worry, if you're watching this and you want to know what's happening, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Brady got sacked.
He thought the Mets and the Yankees were in the Super Bowl this year.
No. It was the Mets and the Lakers.
And the Lakers.
Yeah. Because I heard it was a team from like that area. No, the Red Sox, because they're from Massachusetts. And there was a team from LA, the Lakers. That's what I just do.
So you used basketball and baseball and thought they were in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, with all crap on them.
Like I said, man, the whole Vidi thing is just awesome. We love it. We love everybody from that whole network that you guys got going on, and it's growing so well. And it's been a year. It's just amazing, man. It's an amazing concept, and we wish you guys the best over there. We really do.
It's basically kind of like Netflix, but for the paranormal. That's the best way I feel to describe it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I would say Netflix. A lot of live feeds too, which is really cool. Like the stuff that Johnny does when he's doing his investigations, and you got like guys like Girls vs. Ghosts who do their live show like we do, and they've been on our show many times. In fact, they're on here next week. So that whole thing is just awesome, man. We appreciate everything that's going on over there. So Johnny, what do you got coming up besides the true crime? I mean, I saw a post that you put out. I can't remember where you're going. It looks like you're doing an investigation or something, or maybe it's a like a Paracon or something real soon.
Yeah, this coming weekend, an event at Malvern Manor. Myself and Steve Gonzalez will be there. and I think there's still a few tickets left for that one.
Okay.
HauntACon in Omaha is coming up in March, I believe, which is the second year of a paranormal convention in Omaha, Nebraska, which is the first year went off awesome.
Okay.
And the guests that they're getting this year, it's going to be twice as good. I got some more stuff in the works as far as like speaking.
How do you pitch
engagements and stuff.
how do you pitch a show to Nick? Because I just thought of a really good idea for a paranormal show. Yeah. I've got. Let me just explain. We've got. Sorry.
Wait, I'm just. His phone number is 1. Oh, it's just people are watching.
I'm really tempted. I've got Daryl's number. I might put it on the chat.
Yeah, don't do that, dude. Don't do that.
Right, we'll get.
You mean Darren's number?
Yeah.
Darren. Yes. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Fuck it.
What do you call me, Darren?
Had this whole thing planned out with Johnny, and I completely forgot it.
Yeah, I kind of spaced it off too.
I asked him before. I asked him like to think that instead of calling you Daryl, to think your name was like Darren.
Okay.
And to just continue calling you Darren until you corrected him, and then him to start calling you Daniel. And I completely forgot.
I do that to people, man. And it's sometimes I don't mean to. I'll call them the wrong number. I've done it on the show before. You know that. But I'll do it to people I don't like. Like I'll call them every name that it's not their name, but I know their name. I'll call if their name's Tom. I'll call them Tim. Joe,
Daryl,
Ralph, Frank.
That's just because you're getting old.
Because I'm just an asshole. That's why.
Yeah, literally, it's going to get to a stage where, like, a relative of yours might die from crossing the road because by the time you've got to their name, they would have hit by the car.
Well, that's what I do with my kids, man. My poor kids, I got 5 of them. You know, I forget their damn names. I'll call them, one thing, and it's not that one. And, it's
you should have just called them. You should have all called them the same name, and you wouldn't have to worry about it.
You're kind of like your
Anyway, my show idea, right? We get Daryl, Johnny, our friend Josh Bender, Beard. The theme.
I've seen the theme, beards here. Yeah.
And we get Rick and Rick Shrek on, yeah. And we call it Viking Paranormal. And you all go to haunted houses and stuff, wearing hats with like thingies on,
carrying axes and swords and shit.
Yeah, and then you ghost hunt like a Viking.
We rape and pillage the ghost.
And then at the end, you leave in a boat.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
Some TV producers
Nick, call me
before.
Gold.
Yeah, it's gold.
Yeah, well, Nick should call me before Zach gets to me first.
Alex will produce it for us. There you go. That's funny, man. That's funny. Yeah. One of my favorite shows, by the way, Vikings. I love that fucking show, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good shit, man.
Of course you're Vikings. You've got fucking beards.
A lot of beards, yeah. Even the women have beards.
You're watching it thinking, that would look good on me.
The ponytail. See, Johnny's is long enough where he could do a ponytail. I can't do a ponytail. I cut so much off mine the last couple of months. I can't do it. But
you kept it because we could sell it.
No.
Some people love Daryl on the show for some reason. Don't know why. We could sell it to them.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't think anybody's gonna buy my beard hair, bro. I don't know. Let me back up on that one. There's a few people that might on here, but
I heard that if you pull on it, it's lucky.
It is. I'm sure if you pull on Johnny's, man, fucking gold just falls out of that damn thing.
Irish.
And last night's dinner.
So last night, I'm sitting there eating, and my wife does what is in your beard? And I looked down, and it looked like a green leaf.
It's a full piece of broccoli.
It's in my head. in my head, I'm thinking it's February. Like that would have had to happen in the summertime. Has that leaf been in my beard for like 6 months?
He's out freaking trimming the bushes and got
I was just like, what is?
Yeah, I walked around one day with a whole peanut in my beard. Didn't know it, man, until somebody finally. And I ate those peanuts, man, literally hours before that. And that peanut was in my beard. And somebody said, "You got something in your beard." I looked, it was a freaking whole peanut. I was like,
but let's connect this to the paranormal. You could always like put a torch in your beard.
yeah.
Like a K2 meter in my beard, like a.
That'd be awesome, dude. Camera, little GoPro sticking out your beard. That'd be awesome.
Yes, exactly.
Well, you need a connect. Here you go.
So, yeah, people were loving the conversation. They're like, "What the fuck, man?" Everybody liked the. Sherry liked the Viking idea. That's actually my mother watching. There you go, Johnny. It's perfect, man. Yes. So let me ask for the people who are watching, because you got a lot of fans on here watching, dude. People are really loving you. I guess they watch you on Vidi and everything. They know. I think the first time I ever saw Johnny was not Vidi. It was a long time ago. It might have been Ghost Adventures or something you were on, man. And I've seen you on a couple other things. A Bigfoot thing at one time I saw you on.
Yeah. And
that
okay,
must be confusing.
Let me tell you about this. It was Monsters and Mysteries in America, and I was talking about the Missouri Monster, which is Bigfoot, basically, kinda. And the Van Meter monster, which was like this big winged thing. And I did a half-hour interview, and I went into all these details of the body and bodies decaying and like this big, long, scientific-ish type thing.
Right.
And they narrowed it down to me going, "It's real." It's like I did all this because this Van Meter monster in the town Van Meter, Iowa. It's basically Mothman before Mothman. Had like a 7-foot wingspan.
Right.
Had like a horn coming out of its head that emitted a bright light type of a deal. And so I was going through, okay, so let's analyze this. Box bats have a 7-foot plus wingspan that exists. This horn coming out of its head, could be bioluminescence because they thought it lived in underground in caves. Like that exists. Right. Every feature of this creature exists, so who's to say it's just not some unknown mammal that,
right.
But they cut all, and it went way more into detail, but they cut all that down to me going, "It's real." I've seen it with my own eyes. I was like, "Jeez."
And you never saw it, did you?
No.
It's funny how TV could do that.
Yeah, but I do love that one because that was the first show I got a call for that was not about the Axe Murder House.
Right.
I was like, yes, I will, yes.
Anyway, speaking of which, you're at the Axe Murder House now.
Yes.
So,
yep.
Anything going on while we've been doing the show, or did any spirits
so
like my idea about the Vikings?
I think they loved it. I'm getting something. The show is amazing. Yes, they love your show.
I'm sure we'll be getting calls out all week about the show there, Alex.
Yeah.
But
Viking Paranormal.
Viking Paranormal. That's badass.
I mean,
hurry up and make the Facebook page before someone else takes the name.
I'm taking VikingParanormal.com right now.
Yeah, it's probably already taken.
Yeah, probably.
And I am really shocked that there's not a Paranormal Ninjas with like people in ninja. Like I honestly, and I made a post about this like 8 years ago, and I'm so shocked that it's not a thing.
I could do paranormal sumos.
We could be Viking Paranormal Sumo Ninjas.
We're like a bunch of freaking Marvel characters or some shit. Shit. So let me ask you, for the people who are watching who are actually tuned in for paranormal.
I was actually about to say something, but paranormal.
What has been the craziest thing that's ever happened to you? It doesn't have to be at Velisca, but anywhere you've done a paranormal investigation, dude.
It was the Sally House, and I was doing a live ghost hunt on Halloween for Google. And I didn't want to do it. I was just kind of like, eh. And they go, well, it's sponsored by Dickies. You'll get a bunch of free Dickies clothes. I was like, I'm in.
Okay.
Cool. So I go down there, and down in the basement of the Sally House is supposedly the pentagram on the floor. And I'm standing on it, and I'm trying to get stuff to happen. And it's daytime. Like, we haven't even started yet. Nothing's going on. I thought, let's say this is a pentagram, and some satanic stuff went down here. Well, let's try some religious provocation. Like, that's bound to get something to happen. I go, in the name of Jesus, do something. And I felt like a burn on the back of my leg, and I thought, cool, I got scratched. This is awesome. I go running upstairs, and there's a big bald spot on the back of my calf, and the hairs around it are singed. It's like somebody took a lighter and singed the hair off. Yeah. So I go up to the Catholic college, and they had a gift shop, and spent probably $150 in crucifixes and holy water and all kinds of stuff. I bring it back down. The holy water bottles are empty. They're just like decorative bottles. So I go back up. I find what appears to be the church. I walk in. There's a thing full of water right when you walk in. It's like, this has to be holy water, right? Like, I don't know.
It's Manischewitz.
So I'm filling up the bottles. And it's like that scene on Lost Boys where they're filling up the squirt guns.
Right.
And I'm sitting there filling up all these bottles, like afraid a priest is going to walk in. And so I take it back down, and I put one of the holy water bottles on top of that spot in the basement. We do our investigation. I go back down, and they're sealed shut tight. I pick it up, and it's empty, but you can see the condensation on the inside of the bottle. Like something evaporated that holy water. And there were a number of other things that happened. I ended up leaving, came home, and I was weird for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, really weird.
Attachment.
Well, talking to my wife, she'd be like, yeah, we'd be eating supper, and you'd just be glaring at me like you hated me. I'm like,
wow.
No, I wasn't. She's like, yeah. And so I ended up finding a church, man, and going like twice a week. And it's like I went on the opposite spectrum of this. Because something burned hair off of my leg. Well, that happened.
Something like that happened. Well, not the burning, but something like that kind of attached you at Villisca too, didn't it? At one time. Yeah. Okay.
And actually, and I haven't told many people this, but during season 1 of vidi.space, the Johnny Hauser verse at the Axe Murder House, beforehand, I kind of came in when stuff was happening, and I'm like, I will never investigate this place again. I told the house that. And so Nick calls up, and he's like, dude, you got to do the Axe Murder House. He's like, yeah, I don't know. He's like, dude, like everybody knows you, and like it'll be you taking on that place. It's like, okay. So I started doing it again. Well, stuff started happening at my house again. I had a dream, and I don't put a lot of stock into dreams. I had a dream I was in the basement, and some dude's standing there with a camera. And I was like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, we got permission to film. I was like, oh, yeah, you talked to Darwin? Knowing in my dream that Darwin had been dead for like 6 years.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I talked to Darwin yesterday. Right then I hear a scream upstairs, and I wake up. And when I woke up, I was just kind of like, man, that's pretty much what I'm doing over there, busting into somebody else's house with a camera, you know? So my wife doesn't get into any of this at all. She is, yeah, I drag her along to some events and stuff, but I took my daughter to school, which is like a 2-minute drive in Villisca. And when I left, my wife was awake. When I came back, she was awake. And she said, when you left, I fell back asleep and had a dream, and it was Sarah Moore trying to hit me in the face, trying to make her face look like what happened to them.
Really?
And I was like, and I instantly walked over to the house, and I said, I get it. I'm sorry. I'm done. I have 4 episodes left. I'll do 2 in the barn, 2 in the basement. That way I'm not inside the house itself investigating. And
well, that's
evidently
cool.
they thought that was a good idea, because nothing's happened since, knock on wood. You know, and I'll never investigate the Axe House ever again.
So where are you now, then?
In the barn of the Axe House.
Okay. So people watching might sense things or see things or something.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. This is like our office spot and our gift shop where people sign in or do the paperwork for overnights and all that stuff. So I'll show you the surveillance camera here is, oh yeah, that's not working. But the house is just right there. So
we got a question on here real quick. Sally Vidas, going to Hinsdale House soon. What should I take for protection?
An axe.
Yeah, an axe, gun. Actually, I've done Hinsdale, and I did take an axe because I wasn't allowed to carry my gun in New York. So yeah, I actually did take an axe. That's crazy. What would you take, Johnny, for protection?
I personally just rely on my faith for protection. I don't take anything. I don't smudge anything or do any of that stuff. You know, to do what we do, to look for ghosts, you have to believe in an afterlife. And if you believe in an afterlife, you have to believe in something created that. So whatever you believe in, just rely on that for protection. You know, that's what I do.
Yeah.
The smudging thing always interested me for a long time, and I was doing a documentary with the Kling brothers in Texas, and I was talking to them about what's the smudge stuff made out of?
The sage?
Sage, yes.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, do you guys do sage or anything? Blah, blah, blah. And Barry Kling looks at me and goes, that did anything. There wouldn't be any ghosts in Texas. There's sage all over the place.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
So I know some people really do use that, and that's great. You know, whatever works for you. I rely on my faith. That's personal with me. That's what I do. But the big thing is don't get in a rabbit hole. Like I brought a girl to the Axe House during one of the episodes. She's an elementary school teacher. You know, she doesn't get into any of this. And I think the house likes to flex its muscle to people and it feeds off fear. And so I brought her in to see if that was the case. Things happened. It was a crazy night. The next day she gets in a car wreck.
Ooh.
She's like, it's the house. The house did it.
Right.
It's like, I'm pretty sure the 10 inches of ice we had last night did it. But... And then all week long, she's like going down this rabbit hole. So I gave her at a St. Michael pendant. It's like, here, take this, you know. And
kind of like a placebo.
Yeah. And I think
I've had to do that on people we've taken on investigations before. Like, I gave them a necklace, which I said was like some religious thing. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was just some like tribal BS. It wasn't anything important. But I said, this will protect you. It's a protective Wiccan thing. And she believed me. And for the rest of the investigation, she was perfectly fine.
Yeah. You know, it's easy to get down the rabbit hole of, oh, everything bad happening in my life is because I went to this place one night. Well, that place is just a building.
Right.
You know. And pretty soon you're manifesting all these bad things to happen to yourself because you believe it so much. And
yep.
A big part of what we do is mental strength.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Because if you let your brain run away with you, you're gonna see things that aren't there. You're gonna hear things that aren't there, and you're just gonna go crazy, basically.
And that's like part of the reason I like my whole hit the gym at 4 a.m. every morning.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to...
You're going to start, because this happened last time on the show. You start talking about the gym, and then Daryl was like, I go to the gym as well, and I'm here like a fat prick. I'll just sit out for a minute while you...
I'll make it really quick. A big reason, part of the reason I do that too is just for mental strengthening. You know, keeping the mind strong. Okay.
Yes. He doesn't understand that.
About the gym.
He doesn't understand that, man. I mean, it's just the energy you get from going to the gym, man. It's just, I see it now. You got me talking about the damn gym.
I signed up to the gym and lost like 120 pounds in 3 months. And bearing in mind that pounds is the English currency. So
Yep.
I'm going to say 120 pounds in 3 months. Jesus, dude. There ain't no effing way. Yes. So basically, you just wasted your money. And did you even go, Alex? Not answer. Did you even go to the gym?
No, I did go to the gym for a while, but I mean, at the time, it was just I couldn't really keep up, paying for it, so I just got fat.
It's so much easier.
So much easier.
Friends, some of my friends are like, "Oh, I'm going to go to the gym." I'm like, "Cool," and so they bought like 3 months worth of memberships. Didn't go once.
Yeah. See, I've had so.
I did go. It just got too expensive. Basically, I couldn't afford it.
I started going seriously to the gym in my late teens, early 20s, and I had so many workout partners that just fell off over the years. I don't believe anybody anymore when they tell me they're going to the gym, man. I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I'll believe it. When you're a couple years into it, and you're still doing it, because it's just one of those things.
I really need to replaster that part.
That's funny, but he doesn't understand the whole gym thing, man. But it's all.
No, I get it. Honestly, I do, because it does help with depression.
It helps with a lot of things.
Not just from like actually getting fit so you feel better about yourself. It generally has a physical effect on your mental state.
Oh yeah, it releases dopamine. It does a lot, man. You can you start working out in the morning. You feel kind of sluggish and everything, and 10 minutes into it, you got all this energy, man, and you just go all day long, and it's just like a natural high.
Oh, it's funny. This cup is empty now.
And you're saying I hate Daryl. He's just pretending to drink.
So Johnny, I mean we've spoken about Bigfoot and ghosts and stuff. Have you ever took any interest in like aliens and UFOs and things of that nature?
That was my first interest ever. One of my earliest a big chunk of my memory as being a kid that I just don't remember, but I remember being outside and we seen what looked like it was a UFO. And it's to the point where mom and dad got us kids in the car and we like followed it. And we ended up in a farmer's field out in the middle of nowhere. And there's a cop in his cop car standing outside in the farm field. And he's like, it's just a weather balloon, like the cliched weather balloon thing.
Right.
And so that's what got me into the paranormal, was aliens, and then it morphed into Bigfoot and monsters and legends, and like the ghost thing was later on for sure. But yeah, I want to do, I was talking to the guys, it's like, let's do some aliens documentaries. Let's do some, just off the wall weird. The town I grew up in, and this is something I'm kind of kicking around in my head, the town I grew up in has a lot of paranoid people in it. Like my parents at one point thought, mom will probably kill me, but Obama drones were going to kill them, and like they're making senior death cams to put all the senior citizens in.
I wonder who gave them that idea.
Yeah.
Don't even blame it on Trump. Don't even do it, bro. I know where you're going with this.
and when she said the senior death camps, I laughingly was like, cool, less slow drivers on the road. Make it a dumb joke. But they ended up moving to Arkansas, and they're not that way anymore. But I know a ton of people in this town that are that way. And it's not like a drug thing, because it's young and old alike. And I'm kind of like, and I know a lot of people that's moved from this particular town, and they were that way when they lived there. They moved completely fine, normal again.
Really?
So I'm like, is there some unseen force or something, the water or something? Like, what is making people paranoid in this town? I think I might dig into that.
I don't want to sound like racist when I say this, but I don't know if
don't say it then, bro.
It's not. I don't know if it's just like small towns in America where people aren't that connected to like the rest of the country and they get a bit paranoid about things. I don't.
Oh,
know.
For sure.
Because I mean, America is a massive country. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is in the UK. I mean, the UK is is probably about the same size, if not smaller, than Florida. So, so it's like 1/50th the size of America, basically.
And that's what I thought too. It's like, well, maybe it's just really boredom, and their mind has nothing to do but concoct these weird scenarios. But the towns around it, nobody's like that. When I moved from that town to Villisca, and it took me a while to get used to people just being nice. Like I was, and in this town, there's an enormous amount of like family fights that end up in like family members stabbing each other. I know about 5 people in prison for murder, like from Gore, and it's not drug related. I don't know. It's a what? So that's like something I've been kicking in my head. Like, this could be a really like Twilight Zone type.
I'll tell you one thing though. I have become incredibly paranoid on any bit of news that comes up on social media.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm Googling everything to see if it's true.
Especially anything we put out there. We got a question. Go ahead, Johnny. But we got a question.
Have you seen this deep fake stuff? Now they have, it's called deep faking, I believe it is. And this new software comes out to where it can map your face, but I will be controlling your image on video and it will reproduce your voice. So now they're making these news stories and stuff with like Obama saying this, and it's not. It's somebody using this software to manipulate his face.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, who knows what's going to even be real anymore?
I have a feeling they've had that. The government's probably had that kind of technology for a long time, and if you behind the scenes, because I mean, the whole government thing's just crazy anyway. But Tammy Bazin had a question. Have you ever experienced time loss you can't explain? She says I have. Very interesting.
Yeah. Usually when I'm doing this show.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you? Yeah.
And this kind of goes back to the childhood thing. Like after I seen that, I had a dream for 2 weeks solid, like every night for 2 weeks, the same dream. And it was like walking around and there's UFOs everywhere, but they look like the old school, like 3D with the green, red, they were like lined. It's hard to like figure out or explain. But I had this dream forever, and there's a big, huge chunk of my childhood I just don't plain remember. And I'm talking to friends of mine. They're like, well, usually do, unless there was some kind of trauma that you tried to block out. And I was like, there was no trauma. Like had a great family, a great upbringing, but it's like, I don't know. Do you guys remember?
I can't remember anything. I can't remember much at all from.
I can remember certain things.
Yesterday, I can't remember anything.
If I see a picture or something that I did as a child, it kind of brings back memories. But I really, quite honestly,
that's the same. That's the same with me. If I found a load of like old school photos, and as soon as I saw them, I remembered being there and having my photo taken.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But other than, if I wouldn't have remembered it if I didn't see the picture. So
yeah. I mean, dude, it's my childhood feels like so long ago, bro. I mean, it's just
when it was.
It was.
You're Gandalf now.
Yeah, I grew up in the '70s, man, and I can't remember any of that shit, dude. But
we had a question from Elizabeth. She wanted to know if any of us had ever been to Salem, because she's interested in going there, and if we've done any investigations or anything along those lines.
I've been to Salem,
and this is I talked to Elizabeth about this. It's like, man, Johnny Hauser verse I would love to do is Salem, like just dig into the whole witch trial, like for an entire season. I would love to do that.
Yeah,
never
that would
been
be
there.
cool.
I've got a bit of a chip on my shoulder about Salem, because as far as I'm concerned, nothing actually happened compared to what happened in this country, because we didn't have 6 or 7 people get hung. We had hundreds of thousands of people accused of being a witch and being burned or hung or.
Well, they're still doing that in Africa and India right now. They're still burning.
There was a story in the news about it happening in India as well.
Yeah, it just happened like a week ago in India, where it's still happening in the world. Like in India, like there was an article just came out where a whole family was murdered because there was suspicion they were a witch. They were witches. The mother was a witch, and they killed the kids and everything and dumped them in a well.
And in the Western world, we still have that. It's just, been upgraded to, accusing people of things before they've even had a trial, or, you just straight away assume that person's done it before they've been proven guilty or not. So we still have it. It's just different now. It's just, actually a witch. But I mean, we had a guest on the show. It was the first Sunday show of January of this year. We had Sam Baltrusis.
Yeah, Baltrusis. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't even watched it, Daryl. I'm sorry, but whatever.
Yeah, that's the week you decided to take off. Yeah.
I mean, you had. Because he knows everything there is to know about Salem and stuff. I mean, because he's out in Massachusetts. He's been on TV shows talking about it and stuff. So, if you go through the old Paranormal Warehouse videos and look for our interview with Sam Baltrusis and watch that, you'll probably learn quite a lot about.
Yeah,
Salem.
well, Sam's written a lot of, like 7 books or something like that about the Salem witch trials and other stuff that's happened in Massachusetts. I've actually been to Salem. I didn't get a chance to investigate. It was kind of like a drive-through. But I'm a Gettysburg guy. I live close to Gettysburg with an hour and a half, and me and my wife go there a lot. Haven't been in the last couple of years because of just, scheduling, but we used to go all the time, and that's my go-to when it comes to, no witches or anything like that were hung there, but it's got that history to it, being the biggest battle of the Civil War, and, almost 50,000 people lost their lives in 4 days there. It's my go-to. But like you said, Salem, 20 people were hung or stoned to death or whatever happened to them at the time. But it was a dark part of our history. But yeah, it's a cool place. I would definitely love to go there again and investigate.
I'd like to go to Salem just because I think it looks nice.
It's different, man. It's different than what people think. You think of this little quaint town, and it's not. It's this little quaint town in the middle of a city. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, you drive through a city basically to get to it. And like you're like, where the hell is Salem? This is Salem. It's all like buildings and shit. And then you finally get to the historical part where everything's grown around it. And that's what you got. That's why I like Gettysburg. Gettysburg is still pretty much almost like it was 100 some odd years ago, man. There's the newest thing in Gettysburg is a McDonald's that was built in the 50s. So it's crazy. But yeah, good question though. Elizabeth asked that, right? Yeah. Good question.
And Tammy Petty wants to know. I'll change it slightly. What's our favourite type of equipment to use on investigation?
Right now, I know a lot of people are kind of against the apps and stuff like that, but my thought on that whole deal is like, okay, at some point investigators started trying new technology, otherwise we'd still be rolling in with Ouija boards and seances, Right. So I started downloading apps, and if they were stupid, I would just laugh and delete it. But the Spiritus app, I really, really like that one, and I've had a lot of crazy results from that app. And I've talked, it's saying things very clearly that it shouldn't be saying, and that's to do with the location I'm in.
Yeah.
Other than that, I like going just basic,
Yeah.
I used to have.
I think a lot. I think investigators should start going more back to basics. I think there's too much.
There's too much tech.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tech
flying around these days.
And it looks good on TV. Don't get me wrong.
It's not just because it's not just because of the price of the stuff. It's just I don't know. You're not in the moment because you've got all this stuff going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of just you could go through a whole investigation and forget what the hell you even did because you're not in the moment because you're so focused on using all these different types of equipment. It's ridiculous.
If I'm just investigating for fun and not doing a show or anything, like, I'm not out. Like, during those moments, I'm not out to prove anything to anyone. You know, I'm there for the experience.
More of a personal. I love the personal experience of it, man. I don't really care about proving anything to anybody. It's just to me. But Elizabeth Pierce asked which app. What was the app you use again, Johnny?
Spirit Us. It's Spirit US. So all one word. I
like using the EchoVox, and it's an app. Yep. It's around 25 hours, depends on if it's for Apple or for Android. But I like it because I've actually used the Spirit Box with it on different occasions, like an SB7 or SB11, and I've gotten the same thing off of both of them. And that's why, I mean, I really dig EchoVox a lot. That's one of my go-tos. But the Spiritist, somebody says, that's a good app. Okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. I've heard of it, but I don't know a lot about it. But so, Johnny, what do you want to plug, man? Before we get off here, we're coming to that time.
Let's see. I did actually filmed at the Axe House for Travel Channel a couple months ago. Kindred Spirits was here. That'll be coming out, I'm not sure, February-ish, and that's just kind of an Axe House episode. But for you all that are interested in the Axe House, check that out. I got a lot of cool stuff coming up. I think once I finish this true crime thing, I'll probably do something with aliens because, man, you know, from investigating ghosts to investigating true crime, like, how much death can you sit there and immerse yourself in?
Are we gonna see you like working for the IRS and investigating like?
I hope not.
Johnny Hauser versus taxes. This is gonna be really exciting.
Johnny Hauser,
most hated paranormal investigator in the world.
Yeah, I've always been into all of it, and so I want to do all of it. Like, I don't want to just do ghosts. I want to do aliens, conspiracies, monsters, legends, UFO. Yeah, all of it. And I plan on
Johnny
doing
Hauser
that with
versus a 9/11 conspiracy.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that for sure. But some of that government conspiracy freaks me out because I don't want to like.
Oh yeah.
Push buttons and have a knock at the door.
Right.
I mean, we had a guest on before, and basically we were like, you know, should we even go out?
Yeah, I'm not going outside for the next week.
I'm putting my phone on airplane mode.
Yeah.
Who was it? John? It was
Alexa is going in the fucking bin.
It was John DeSouza, right? Is that who you're talking about? Yeah. He former FBI agent.
And when he says it, a former FBI agent, you're like, I'm taking notes.
Yeah. He said some crazy shit, man. He really sure. He's eye opening because I was like, man, I don't want to use any kind of devices or nothing. But yeah, guys. Hey, guys, you've been really awesome tonight, man. On the chat here. Hi, Cass. How you doing?
Quick update on the Super Bowl. It's really shit.
Okay.
There you go. It's so boring, honestly. There's no point in watching it. So if you haven't watched this show, just go back to the start and watch it again.
You might as well, even if you have watched it, go back and watch it again. Hey, go check us out on YouTube now, guys. We have our new YouTube channel up. We're adding stuff to it in the upcoming weeks. Some true crime stuff that's coming up, which is going to be pretty cool. Some stuff about shoplifters. Some stuff about Ted Bundy's coming up here. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Come check us out next week. We're going to be here with the Girls versus Ghosts, also from vidi.space. Good friends of the show. We've had them on a couple times. I've been on their show on vidi.space.
I might look slightly different next week.
Yeah, he's gonna look very different. He's getting his sex changed.
I'm gonna be blonde. I'm gonna be slim and American and a lady.
Yeah. Annie Weevil is gonna be filling in for Alex next week as the co-host. So that'll be pretty cool. It's because she, the whole Girls versus Ghost thing, and she's big into investigating, and she also has a new show starting on Paranormal Warehouse on Tuesday. So we can't wait to get her on, but. Johnny, dude, awesome as always. God, man, you're a wealth of knowledge. We love you, man. We love what you're doing over at Vidi and everything you do, and God bless you and all your stuff that's coming up here in the future, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's always a blast, and anytime I'll come back on for sure.
Beard on, brother.
And, don't forget to follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, and YouTube. Give us a like on YouTube. Subscribe, whatever you want to do. Give us a big thumbs up. Check us out. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, go check out Johnny Hauser versus whatever the hell he's gonna be versing when he comes on, man. Because he's gonna be it could be anything. So go check him out. It could be anything. So guys, great. Love you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week. We're out of here.